understand. This Willie Lynch syndrome is all across America. But not only that, he even went further. He said that's just to instill fear. And then he went on to describe to the slave masters of how to break the female. Okay? You beat her to the inch of her life. You beat her until an inch of her life. And you make her easy to ride for all of those in comfort. That's what the letter says. And you can take that in many ways, especially when it says ride, okay? Because the male image, the protection has just been destroyed. So you break this woman. So she's easy to ride. And she depends upon you for necessities. Down to the point where she would actually eat out your hand after you done raped her, after you done cracked her upside her head. And she in turn would teach her daughter to be the same way. Because she already see what this black man is doing. What he is allowing to happen to him. I'm just saying. Think about that. You think about that. And that's sad. That is very sad that we continue in this day to allow that to happen. The Willie Lynch syndrome. But not only is it in our communities or neighborhoods, because once again, there are some black communities that do have black people that do have communities. But for those of us who live in the hood, we have a neighborhood. Just being real. Now, this Willie Lynch guy, he even took it a step further. Not only after he used the fear of the black woman, and after he broke her within an inch of her life, and she's taught her children how to be submissive unto him, even in marriage. It was just a use to produce more slaves for him. Never really intended to mean nothing to the white man. Because the slave master will always just walk up to the cabin of the slave and say, send her out here. Well, come on out here, bitch. I'm just saying, and that's where you get to calling your woman a bitch and a whore from. And as long as you continue to call your woman a whore and a bitch, you will never stand up for her or protect her. That's common sense. It's just common sense. It's Black History Month. Willie Lynch. We even have Willie Lynch in the, I'll get to that in a minute. But he also broke it down to as he divided. He made disputes among ages, meaning that he placed the male versus the female. He places the young man versus the old man. He places the young girl versus the older woman. He placed the darker slave versus the lighter slave. You understand? And he put distrust among them. He made them distrust one another by instigating bullshit. This is why it says that they had started causing trouble among the righteous people. And this is why they were kicked out. This is why they were kicked out of the garden. Because they had started making trouble among the righteous people. From the jump. But anyway, getting back to the story, right? So with all of this madness that he's got going on, this is where the disunity comes in. And we're still disunified today. Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch syndrome. We don't trust one another. We are divided. The old we can't find the gap with the young. The young can't fill the gap with the old. The light color blacks think they better than the darker blacks. And so forth and so forth. And it goes all the way down to the music thing. It goes down into the music thing. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? The Willie Lynch syndrome is even in the music and entertainment business. Yes, back when I was coming up, the music that we used to listen to was conscious rap. Conscious rap, or it was called, as it still is today, hip hop. It was hip hop before rap even came up on the scene. But even then you had some conscious rappers, conscious positive message rappers. And all of this started, as everybody know, in South Bronx in the 70s in New York, okay? Where the brothers were actually, they would just spit poetry. They would spit poetry, which actually went into rap, but it was always a message in there. There was always a message in there, not in the neighborhood sense, but in a global sense. And you know what happened? Those white people who own the record labels skillfully rap made you East Coast versus West Coast, Willie Lynch. Okay? North versus South, Willie Lynch. Black versus blacks, Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch. Educated versus uneducated, Willie Lynch. Money versus no money, Willie Lynch.